So now that we have this, we can go back to, we have our environment here, right? So what we have to do now is go to Route 53, right? In Route 53, I have a domain that I purchased, which is Autonomous Class. I'm gonna copy that, right? And I have to create a hosted zone, right? So I'm gonna create a hosted zone. So automatic mode is the current search behavior optimized for best results. Okay, I'm gonna create an O and this guy, hosted zone. I wanna give it a name like this. That's the domain that I have, domain name, right? It's gonna be a public hosted zone because it's gonna be for the internet, right? Public hosted zone determines how traffic is routed on the internet, right? And this is within a VPC. That's the private hosted zone, but for me, it's for the internet, right? So I create the hosted zone. As simple as that, right? So immediately, I'm gonna be given some name servers, as you can see here. So these name servers are super, super important when I create things. So I'm gonna go ahead and these guys, I'm going to copy them and paste them in the domain, okay? Because this is the hosted zone, so they have to match. Whatever is in the domain has to match this for my domain to work, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and go to, I'm gonna open another link, and I have so many links open here, right? Let me close some guys here, okay? And I open this. I'm gonna click on Route 53 as well. And I'm gonna come to my domain, right? You can click, if I click on my domain, I see that my domain has some servers that name servers that don't match what I have here. They're different, right? I have 14.net here. I have 42.org. So I have to change these guys. So I'm gonna edit them, right? So I have to edit them and change them here. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy the first one, right? The second one. The third one. And then the fourth one. That's it. So now my name servers, they match my hosted zone, right? The name servers in my domain that match my hosted zone. So now I can go ahead and my hosted zone create a record, and the record is going to point to the Elastic Beanstalk environment. Okay, so we're gonna link my domain here, otanoclass.com, with my Elastic Beanstalk environment. So I'm going to go ahead here and create a record, right? The record is going to be a simple routing record. Next, and I now, for the configuration of the record, I define a simple record. So right now, I'm going to select an endpoint. An endpoint is going to be an Elastic Beanstalk environment, all right? So that's going to be an alias, right? And the endpoint is the Elastic Beanstalk environment. I have to choose the region where this is, where my region is Northern Virginia, right? This is what my environment was created. And I choose the environment, and right now I have this guy here, which is the one that I created, right? So right now I have this guy here, and I define the simple record. Perfect, it's right here. So this guy is pointing to an alias, like we said yesterday, is pointing to this Elastic Beanstalk environment. So now I create a record, and the record is created. Right now, as you can see here, it's created. What I have to do now is put this in the browser, and that should work. There you go, autonomousclass.com, and I have my environment.
So you linked that to your domain just now?
Right, Right. That's what I did.
And so, and then the next step, you'd have to buy a certificate to secure it.
Correct.
And it does
Correct.
each certificate is unique to the URL, right?
Correct.
Or domain,
Correct.
either or whatever it's called.
Correct.
Okay. And how much
Okay.
does a certificate cost? And how long does it last?
It's usually a year.
Okay.
It's usually a year. Like, so we can say how long do certificates or SSL certificates last, right? 27 months. That's 2 years and 3 months.
Well, that's a pretty good amount of time.
Yes.
And
Right.
it's still not 100% security proof, right? Just because it has
Yeah, nothing is
secured, like,
100%.
because you can still, like, it's going to be a lot harder. But if someone knows what
Right,
they're
right,
doing and they really
right,
want to get through, they can get through.
right, right. There's nothing 100% secure.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
you see how many problems different companies have had, and they
Mhm.
still have a certificate. So
Oh,
this is
there's lots of big companies. The gas shortage that was happening.
no, no.
The
Oh
gas
yeah,
the
yeah,
gas
yeah. What
shortage.
happened last
You
week?
remember?
Yeah, what happened last week?
Yeah, with
Yes.
the hack with the
Yeah.
hacking. They're hacking
Yes.
some of these
Dude,
oil
that guy
companies.
made dank
It's
5.5 million.
dude, like,
Makes me want to
it
be a
just goes to
hacker even
show
more.
how shitty some of these companies, like, these billion-dollar companies, aren't taking their IT department seriously. They need better security. They need better trained staff, and it's gonna open up more jobs for cybersecurity and all this stuff.
Yeah, well,
That's
the
what I was
U.S.
thinking though. Like,
government actually just passed. Well, Congress just passed a multi-billion-dollar bill for the U.S. government and its
Yeah.
defense departments for rebuilding their IT
cybersecurity,
infrastructure. So that's going to be a good job
dude.
for us.
Yeah.
It was like, I
That's what
think
I'm
it was
saying.
like
Like,
32 billion or something budget.
we're
Yes.
in the perfect career, right? We're in the perfect career right now because that's attached to cloud.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to do
And
the
they said that the Florida would not be impacted because they have a lot of reserves. But we didn't have gas for the day. So, but thank God everything was solved. Well, guys, going back to this,
I
basically
got paid.
what I did, I created a hosted zone. First, I purchased its domain. Right? That was the first thing. I created a hosted zone, right, which basically has my domain. Right? It's like a zone where everything's going to be hosted, right? And then after that, once I create the hosted zone, I'm provided with name servers, as you can see here, name servers. Now, my domain was assigned some name servers, but they don't match the hosted zone by default. They're different things, right? So I have to make them match. What I have to do is edit the name servers in my domain to match the hosted zone's name servers. Once I have that, with the hosted zone, I create a record. So I create an alias record. Alias record, I just choose the region, and also I have to choose the endpoint. The endpoint is going to be what my domain is going to be linked to. It could be an Elastic Load Balancer. It could be an Elastic Beanstalk environment. In this case, an Elastic Beanstalk environment. So I choose the environment. I choose first Elastic Beanstalk, and then I choose the environment. If I have one, if I don't have one, it's not going to show anything, but I have one. Then I create the record, and that's it. What I have to do is just type this in the browser, like we see here, right? Altanos class, and then it shows whatever is behind. So nobody will ever know there's an Elastic Beanstalk environment in the background. So that's pretty cool, right? So now what I can do is complete the process by going to the Amazon Certificate Manager service, right? And now here I can just get started with the certificate, right? And I choose the domain that I have, which is altanosclass.com, right? And hit next. And I have two ways to validate my domain, either DNS or email. So next, no tag review, and I go ahead and confirm a request. I don't need a certificate, right? Not for this, right? But I confirm this, and it will take some time, sometimes after you validate it, for the certificate to be active. So once you have that, then it's gonna show here a lock, and your site is gonna be secure.
Where does
Right?
it show like the price for the certificate?
It will show you probably next to it,
Because
or I think
it says step 5 validation.
let me see here. Pending validation.
So they have to review
Uh,
it personally, like.
Continue validation not complete. Ineligible because it's not complete yet. So
Have
I
you
have
ever
to complete it.
Have you ever gotten one through AWS?
No,
Okay, okay.
never. That's why I'm not sure about this process.
Yeah. I was just
But
curious.
I know this is the process, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it is free or because you have an account. Okay, let me see here. How much is an certificate with AWS? Right. Let me say it's SSL because maybe thinks it's a certification exam. No cost to try 60-day pricing certificate manager. So we have here, there's a private certificate authority that's for private and for public. For public, but this is for private. We selected public. Public SSL certifications are free. So there you go. There you go. Certificate's free. You
So you
only
pay for
for
the resources.
you create to run your application. That's right.
Ah,
That's right. So nice.
nice.
You don't have to pay for it.
So it's
Okay?
talking about you'll pay for like the Elastic Beanstalk and Route 53
Right.
and that stuff, right?
Elastic Beanstalk is free. You're paying for whatever is behind the scenes, like Elastic Load Balancer,
Route
the
53.
EC2 routes, correct. So you pay like 50 cents per hosted zone per month.
Okay.
50 cents.
It's not bad, honestly.
And yeah, it's great. So basically you are hosting a website. And if you do it with an S3 bucket, an S3 web hosting, it's even cheaper because here you have to pay for EC2 instances. And they're billed by the second or by the hour, depending on the operating system. So it's going to be more expensive if you host a website with EC2, because Elastic Beanstalk is using an EC2 instance, than if you do it with an S3 bucket.
So
That's even cheaper.
what you're saying is you wouldn't even, if you want to save money, you wouldn't create it through the Elastic Beanstalk route.
Right.
Okay, so you just go through. So it's like a little more complicated doing it through the S3 bucket.
No.
Or you have to
it's
just
not.
manually set up stuff.
Yeah, you go to S3 and then here you create a bucket, and in the bucket you enable property here, web hosting.
So this is
Right
stuff
here.
the solutions architect needs to know when they set it up for customers.
Sure.
So that's why I'm curious.
So static Beanstalk, you edit it, you enable it, you put some code in it, and then it's going to be much cheaper because you're going to remember you are charged for storage in an S3 bucket. You're going to have probably single files, probably. And then, like I said, one of my students, he's hosting his website right now on an S3 bucket. So that's super cheap. You pay like
And then
50.
if you have it for a while, like then you'd want to have a what do they call it, a life policy to move files to the Glacier. When you have
life
cycle policy when you want to if you're hosting it for a while and you have stuff that needs to be moved to the that needs to be archived, so you'd set all that up through here too.
Yeah, you can do all that in an S3 bucket.